Joining us now are two guests who agree a revolution is going on in the living room, but may disagree about exactly how it will play out. Back with us is Geoff Yang, founding partner at Redpoint Ventures and an investor in Netflix, TiVo, Clicker, among others. Also from New York, we have Joe Brown, editor-in-chief of Gizmodo, who has some strong views about who the winners and losers are going to be in the future of home entertainment. So, Joe, let's start with you. You say the winners are going to be Google TV, 3D TVs, and Sony PS3s. Really, 3D TVs? I find that surprising, given the fact that they haven't really taken off in the home yet.
Yeah, and I was saying this a little bit just to stir up some conversation, but basically what we're looking at is that 3D TVs are the best 2D TVs. So even if you have, like, no desire at all to watch anything 3D, if you want to render that really good video and those really like smoothly flowing sports graphics, 3D TVs are going to have the best possible video processors in them. I don't watch 3D, but I have a 3D TV because it's fast.
Now, you say the losers are going to be TiVo, Netflix, and the cable companies. I have to turn to Geoff here first. He's an investor in TiVo and Netflix. Geoff, how would you respond to that?
Well, I mean, I think Netflix really changed the concept of how you rent a DVD, and then they took it to the next level in terms of physically how do you get your content. I think they're going to be here to stay. I think they've got millions upon millions of subscribers that have built habit and are used to that. TiVo changed the way people watch television. They changed the concept of time shifting. That concept can and could be applied to a lot of different places, and hopefully that'll be through TiVo.
So, Joe, defend yourself here. Obviously, Netflix certainly has a lot of momentum. Where are you coming from here?
So I want to say that, like, I love Netflix and I love TiVo, or maybe I loved Netflix and I loved TiVo. They were both really pioneers in this space that gave you more control than you ever thought you could have over what you're going to watch. But the problem is that, you know, they're not really playing the right game at this point. So if I'm just a technologist, but if you look at a lot of the sort of leaders and big thinkers in this sort of business field, guys like Buffett and Mr. Yang's not so best friend today, Bill Gurley, they talk about the same thing, you know, creating walls or moats or competitive advantages. In other words, doing things that nobody else can do. The problem with TiVo and the problem with Netflix is the market is already showing plenty of other people can do what they're doing. I mean, you can get a set-top box from the cable company for $8 a month that does what TiVo can do. You can watch movies on Hulu Plus, and Hulu Plus has a little bit more arm strength with the providers of that content and aren't subject to the whims of these providers the way Netflix is. I mean, the reason Netflix, and you know, Geoff, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the reason Netflix has to double its price in September is because they're getting strong-armed by a lot of the content providers. Is that right?
Well, I mean, I think you're right. You can do all the different functions on an independent basis. But you know, I'm in the business of starting new companies and thinking about how people are going to evolve. And I think that kind of talking about what is the past is not as interesting as talking about what is in the future. And I think you're right. There are independent ways to do all of it, but I think the winners ultimately are going to be the people that find a way to create a unified experience that's kind of seamless to the consumers, so that, you know, I can sit down and I can turn the TV on and I can surf and I can look at content, whether it's streamed content, whether it's on-demand content, or whether it's cache content. And I don't really care kind of or broadcast content, and I don't really care how that works. And it works in one independent, seamless way. And you're absolutely right, Joe. I can do any one particular function, but the winner is going to be the person or the company that kind of creates the integrated experience that gives me the best package of what I want to watch, when I want to watch it, and I don't really care if I buy it once or if I buy on a subscription basis or it's free or what have you. And I want to be able to watch it on any device that I have, you know, whether it's a connected TV or whether it's an iPad or whether it's, you know, a mobile device or my computer. And I want to be able to watch that wherever I am, by the way.
Go ahead, Joe.
I mean, you might not care if it's free or subscription or purchased a la carte, but the people who have to purchase a la carte or subscribe certainly do care. And the problem that somebody going into their September bill on Netflix is going to have is that it's twice as expensive. And they look at something like Hulu Plus, which is $10 a month and gives them better streaming. You know, they have the Criterion Collection and all these great first-run TV shows, where are they going to put their $10? Especially if that person has something like Amazon Prime going on as well, where they also get a selection of streaming movies. I mean, right now, Netflix is not offering the value. And you might be looking forward to a time when Netflix does something that I haven't even thought of yet. Reed Hastings, all those guys, they're smarter than me. I admit it. But right now, consumers don't get what they want from Netflix. I've been a Netflix subscriber for almost 9 years. I'm really considering canceling because it's just not giving me what I want.
Yeah, but I got to say, Joe, I understand that you can get individual pieces of content everywhere. What I'm talking about is the company, in the future that I think is really going to succeed is going to be able to offer you, the whole package, the plethora of content, the user experience that you want, and it's going to be transportable. And I think you're going to have viewing experiences that give you. It might be Apple, it might be Google, it might be somebody new, but I think it's going to be kind of a TV in the cloud experience. It's going to travel with you, your preferences, your content, your subscriptions, and also your friends. All right, your friends network, and I think that's going to travel with you. And I think if you provide a good enough package of value, people will be willing to pay. And if you look at the average bills that people are paying, either whether it's satellite bills or cable bills or whatever, they are going up because people consume a lot of content. You provide someone a great experience, and I think they'll pay for it. And I hear what you're saying, but I think
that sounds great.
Joe,
I mean, that totally
Joe's
sounds
giving you
great.
a thumbs up there.
Yeah,
all right, Joe, hang on. We're out of time. We could talk about this for a long time, I think. But thank you both for a spirited discussion. Geoff Yang and Joe Brown, thanks for joining us here on Bloomberg West.